New York puzzle right here. This is, it's not really good though, because they just show like a cab door and bananas. Like, what are the bananas supposed to be, is my question. The laundry's a good choice, the subway sign.
If you think about like New York, like a lot of these different like stores, convenience stores, they have bananas. Like that's like the one fruit that they have.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They have them at the front of the store. So maybe this is like the true New Yorkers puzzle. I mean, Grace Papaya is on it.
So Evie, we got this puzzle right here. I thought this was very fascinating that you're putting together, and it's of New York. What do you think of when you think of New York, when you think of music, and when you think of people?
New York is kind of like the grind, I kind of feel. But I do love the jazz scene here. Like, of all of the music here. Not that I can't, a lot of music obviously comes through here, so you always have the opportunity to see great music. But when you're starting out, I don't think it's the best place to be. But jazz-wise, I've performed a lot of jazz. So like,
what's that like? Like seeing jazz in New York, but also performing jazz?
It's just like invigorating for me, because it's like a live improv kind of situation. Like everyone has to really listen to everyone else. So like I have a bassist that I play with, and a guitarist and a drummer usually, and we make a little quartet.
Sure.
We opened for Sheryl Crow. Like it was that was cool. But we did jazz, like, because it was kind of like a fancy event. It was very fun. So it's but it's invigorating because everything is changing all the time, and you have to listen to everybody else to be making up the chords and following along and making sure you don't miss anything. But at the same time, you're going off of standards and things that people know, and it's your job to make it new and fresh. So I like that a lot.
You play a lot of different instruments, like probably so many that you probably wouldn't even say how many you play. What has influenced you on just learning all these different instruments?
A necessity, because in New York, if you're gonna play, they don't pay that well here, like especially when you're starting out. Like you would want to leave town kind of to get paid more when you're first starting, because you have to have a big enough audience, all these other factors.
There's so much competition.
So if you're gonna travel, you can't bring a whole band with you all the time. So eventually, or maybe I could have found one person and I would try that, and it never quite worked out. And eventually it was of necessity. I was like, I just have to get better at these instruments so I can just be by myself if I need to be.
So you kind of found a way to make it work where you have this set, so you can play solo and you can play with a band.
Yeah.
People up in Port Chester are going to see you play solo. What's that going to be like?
There'll be, I use a looper. I do some inappropriate comedy, but I don't have to there. It's like a family affair.
Depending on the audience.
Depending on the audience. But it goes over really well. But I'll use like a looping machine, and I'll play all the instruments simultaneously. Like, I mean, everybody knows Ed Sheeran does that. Like, so that's kind of like that. And then, I don't know, you'll have to wait and see.
What does a pineapple mean to you?
So the pineapple is actually the origin of when I got attacked by some dogs. And then I was working, and I was like traveling, and it was a very crazy kind of hectic situation at the time. And and so like these dogs, I got attacked by these dogs, long story, and I decided to German Shepherds.
Oh, okay.
And I am terrified. And it was a moment too, like, and they pulled them off of me, and then there were these little teeth marks. And I was kind of like upset, only like 2 of them, but I was like still annoyed by it. And I went to Hawaii for a few days. And then while I was down there, I got this tattoo. And I was kind of having a hard time with patience. I always have a hard time with patience, and kind of waiting for things to like grow into what they're meant to be. Because I just want to fix it now, you know? Like I want to fix it now and be done with it. And so I wrote a poem to go with the pineapple, because it has flowers on the inside. So the poem goes, "A pineapple takes 2 years to grow, so have faith in you, because you're all you know. Have faith in process, because it's all progress. Just try to go with the flow. As we grow, we bloom from within. Remember you're blossoming, even when you can't see the fruits of your labors. Still, keep a thick skin, you. Always stay sweet. Make yourself your favorite person to meet."
And you talk a lot about, like, in the short conversations we've had, personal development. Like, what is your main reason why you work on yourself so much? Like, because I think everyone knows they need to work on themselves, but not everyone does. Like, what makes you like push yourself?
And I do. I just want to be better. I feel like things will be easier too, and I'll be like stronger. You know, like people are strong because they were weak once. You know, you're this because you were this once. You know, like you have to like grow past. And maybe not. Maybe some people are just that way, but I don't think so. I think you have to really grow from experience. And so I'm just not satisfied with the way that things are right now, and I never am fully satisfied, which is kind of like a bad thing too, because you have to have the balance of like contentment and peace when things, and the patience to like wait things out and know that this is like your story and your path, and there's no right or wrong way. You just have to kind of just wait.
You had an interesting story when you first started with music. You said in college you kind of like worked to pay for your music. What was that like? And I could have worded that wrong.
No, it's okay. Well, I also like kind of was always afraid I was gonna fail. So I always worked as like a computer specialist, because I knew my dad had worked in that, and I thought if I can have a trade, I'll be set, you know? So I always worked in the help desk, and I always liked being around guys, like smart guys, you know? Like I felt like I just fit in there. Like I could just be myself, kind of. I worked for Apple after I graduated, like same thing, like as a genius. And I always liked that. But anyway, so like my money always would go directly to my music, kind of, because you either have to have a sponsor, and my cousin helped me in the beginning, like with like helping me get a music video out. But when it came to my albums, like I had to work to pay for those, and every song was, I think, like $1,000 then, because they were helping me out. But then you have to pay for all the promotion, you have to pay for all your instruments, your travel, like when you do travel, like everything adds up. It's so much money. And then like photos and things, unless you can find someone who's willing to do it for you for free. And then, you know, press as things go on. You have to be able to like pay for your own investment in yourself, which is crazy, because all your money is just it's like, I'm making all this money and then it's going immediately away. So it's like, you know, it's hard. It's hard sometimes. You're like, oh, I could save and just be happy maybe, but like, but it wouldn't be, because I wouldn't be spending money on like the things that like hopefully will like factor into something that means something more.
What's one word of advice or one mindset thought that you can give to people to start thinking about creating opportunities for themselves?
If it's important to you, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like you have one, like you think that you can't do it, but you can, and you'll get stronger as you go. That's, your brain is something that's not easily all the time, but it's manipulative. You can manipulate it. You can like make yourself do what you want to do, and you can get stronger, and you just like, you have to focus on your goal. Focus on your goal. You'll get there. Visualize the goal, focus on the goal, and just it's not your job to know how it's going to happen. It's just your job to do and to walk through the door when it's ready for you. That's what Jim Carrey said.
You know, that's one of the core values of Warm Heart, is like create a team atmosphere built around improvement.
Yeah.
And I think when you have that team atmosphere, like even in the music industry,
you have to have people that support you.
Yeah. You can improve.
You have to have those like-minded people. That's so important. Like I would have like stopped a long time ago if I didn't have people that like supported me.
So when everyone sees you, hopefully everyone sees you on November 12th in Port Chester, what should they expect to see? Like, I know you do a little bit of comedy. You're gonna play a bunch of different instruments. Like, what would you say your style is? Is it jazz? Is it whatever? Is it Evie Joy?
It's like indie pop.
Very cool.
I know. I don't really like that either. I wish I could have my own.
The Evie Joy Evie Joy genre.
It's just joy. I come see the joy, but it's not all happy, but good.
Is there anything that you would like to tell people before you go?
I've always struggled with the catchphrase. I don't think I'm going to get it like right now.
Yeah. Maybe on November 12th.
Maybe on November 12th I'll have come up, that's my homework till then.
Alright. Well, thank you. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching. And that's a wrap.